Hello everyone, I'm Sophie. I'm currently at Kechara Forest Retreat, Bentong, Malaysia. And today we will continue reading from The Promise, as you see from the back of me, which is the biography of my Guru, His Eminence, the 25th Sem Tuku Rinpoche. And we will start from page 121. The Journey. The 16-year-old Rinpoche was ready to embark on a journey of a lifetime. Leaving his stricken father at home, he went outside only to find that it was snowing heavily. After he wandered about on the streets for a while, freezing, with no ride in sight, the owner of a motel across the road asked him what he was doing and where he was going. He offered Rinpoche a night at the motel to sleep safely for free before continuing his journey the next day. The next morning he hitchhiked to New York in his Jimi Hendrix t-shirt and with a blessed string from His Holiness the Dalai Lama around his neck. Rinpoche had long planned this departure in his head. He had even checked the map for his route to California. From New York he could have gone either north or south, but as winter was approaching, he decided to take the southern route. He looked for I-95, a highway that crosses the breadth of America, and hitchhiked for 5 or 6 days. The caption of the picture: the motel where Rinpoche spent his first night on his final successful attempt at running away from home. I know what the homeless feel. Apart from the embarrassment, the shame, there's the hunger and the cold. In some places where I slept, there would be frost when I woke up. I'd be shivering when I woke up, on roadsides, in a cardboard box, or whatever. Sam Rinpoche. The caption of the picture: third runaway attempt ended in Indianapolis, Indiana. Approximately 700 miles, or 1,127 kilometers. And you see the red line, which is the fourth runaway attempt, which was successful, from Howell, New Jersey to Los Angeles, California, approximately 2,500 miles, or equivalent to 4,023 kilometers. At night, he would sleep on traffic islands under highway flyovers. It was the only safe place on those dangerous roads, where there would be fewer chances of disturbances. He only had $50 for the journey, so he survived by eating apples, which he could buy cheaply at only $1 for a bag of 12. It was from hitchhiking and the many previous runaway attempts that Rinpoche became streetwise very quickly, developing the ability to read people's motive and identify suspicious characters whom he would avoid at all costs. It was a harsh time full of harrowing and unspeakable experiences that no teenager should ever have to go through. Rinpoche even learned to sleep with his shoes on because he never knew when he would have to get up and run. To this day, Rinpoche's ability to profile people is penetratingly sharp, a skill he honed very early on by being exposed to some of the greatest dangers of the streets. Rinpoche recognized that it was common in America for young runaways to disappear into the ugly side of society. Frighteningly, no one would ever notice if they were killed or pulled into other dark and risky trades to be exploited. Rinpoche's experiences on this journey were what can only be described as pure survival. It was this lonely experience of being homeless, hungry and alone that inspired Rinpoche henceforth to always give food to the homeless and needy. This strong wish continues today and had propelled the extraordinary growth of the community action group Kechara Soup Kitchen. Page 123, a lucky break. Caption of the picture: Bob Gugaju's house in Monterey Park, where Rinpoche stayed during his initial months in Los Angeles. Towards the end of his journey across America, Rinpoche finally had a lucky break. He caught a ride with a big blonde lady who was half Native American. She was an airy and fun 38-year-old with an 18-year-old boyfriend. Rinpoche felt an immediate connection with her, especially when he told her that he had run away from home, and she replied that she had too. When? And she said, yesterday. She explained that she had left home because her parents were not happy with her having a young boyfriend. For the last leg of Rinpoche's long journey, she drove Rinpoche to her boyfriend's parents' home. She asked them if she could borrow the car again to take Rinpoche to Los Angeles, California. Her boyfriend's parents agreed, and soon they were on their way. Finally, Rinpoche could taste the beginning of freedom and happiness after so many years of depression, fear, loneliness, and being deprived of the only thing he was ever passionate about. The lady took him to his cousin Bob Gugaju's home in Monterey Park, a suburb of Los Angeles, where he was living with his wife Pauline. As much as Rinpoche begged Bob not to call his parents, Bob did anyway, perhaps out of some concern for his runaway cousin. Fortunately, though Rinpoche feared the worst and thought that he would be sent back home, by a miraculous stroke of luck, Bob was given permission to let Rinpoche stay. His parents probably knew that there was nothing they could say or would convince him to come back. Rinpoche's relief was incredible. He was 16 years old and he was finally free. The caption of the picture: Rinpoche's room in his cousin Bob's home where he stayed. To this day, Rinpoche is very grateful to Bob for allowing him to stay there for a few months. Chapter 3, Los Angeles, 1982 to 1987. Memories, thoughts, and love for Kyabje Dzong Rinpoche was what kept me going through the most difficult periods of my life. And when I had many obstacles, he had been my reason to keep going. As you see, Rinpoche with his guru, Kyabje Dzong Rinpoche. Page 127. Thupten Darjeeling, a new spiritual home. Caption of the picture: in 2014, Rinpoche returned to Los Angeles for the first time in 26 years. With a small group of students, Rinpoche revisited significant places from his teenage years, including his old high school. In the autumn of 1982, Rinpoche found himself young and free in Los Angeles. He was 16 going on 17, and he had the world at his feet. Bob encouraged him to complete his studies, so he registered at a nearby school, the Mark Keppel High School. Not long after arriving in Los Angeles, Rinpoche began searching for a Dharma center where he could do his sadhana, daily meditational prayers. He found the address of Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche's Vajradhatu Center in the phone book and decided to visit. However, when he arrived, the main door downstairs was locked. Hearing voices from upstairs and seeing the lights on, Rinpoche knocked on the door once again and rang the doorbell, but no one answered. Feeling dejected, Rinpoche consulted the phone book again and decided to head for the University of Oriental Studies, thinking that an Oriental place must have an altar. It was there that he met the late Dr. Leo Pruden, a professor of Eastern Studies, who told him that since it was an academic institution, there was no altar or a place to pray. However, he offered to drive him to a nearby Dharma center, Thupten Darjeeling, TDL, where there was a resident teacher. Caption of the picture: Thupten Darjeeling at St. Andrew's Place. Page 129. Thupten Darjeeling, which means land of flourishing Dharma, was a two-story bungalow in the residential neighborhood of St. Andrew's Place near West Hollywood. When Rinpoche and Dr. Pruden arrived at TDL, the front door was locked, so they entered from the back. The inside of the house was carpeted in maroon with yellow curtains on the windows and beautiful thangkas, traditional Tibetan Buddhist paintings, on the walls. And the living room had been converted into the main prayer hall, Gompa. Seated on a cushion on the floor was the renowned master and resident teacher of the center, Geshe Sultrim Gyaltsen. A splendid Tsongkhapa sat serenely behind him, bathed in streams of golden sunlight. As soon as Rinpoche saw Geshe-la, he immediately prostrated to him, and Dr. Pruden introduced them. Geshe-la was a lay person then, and he was wearing a long maroon outfit with a Mandarin collar. That day happened to be Sok, a day in the Tibetan calendar when a ritual prayer and offering is performed, and Rinpoche asked Geshe-la if he could join their prayers. Geshe-la looked at the teenager and asked if he had received initiations. Rinpoche replied that he had, and Geshe-la allowed him to join them. Thrilled, Rinpoche went back to Monterey Park to collect his sadhana and ritual implements and joined the Chok Puja that night at TDL. There were around 40 other participants at the puja, including several senior students. Many of those present were impressed with this intense-looking young man, wondering where he had learned to do chok so well and at such a young age. At that time, Rinpoche had not taken Geshe-la to be his teacher, as he already had Khenso Rinpoche Lobsang Tachin as his guru. Soon after his arrival at TDL, Rinpoche called Khenso Rinpoche Lobsang Tachin in New Jersey and apologized for running away. Khenso Rinpoche Lobsang Tachin listened carefully and told Rinpoche that it was all right and that he was happy to hear that Rinpoche was safe. Rinpoche also apologized for Dana's defamation of him. It was then that Rinpoche formally requested Khenso Rinpoche Lobsang Tachin's permission to take Geshe Sultrim Gyaltsen as his teacher, according to the principles of Guru devotion. Khenso Rinpoche Lobsang Tachin replied, "You are very lucky. Geshe Sotrim Gyaltsen is a great master and scholar. You should treat him exactly the way you would treat me, and you should serve him and study with him and be a good student. At the end of the phone conversation, Rinpoche first prostrated to the phone he had just used to speak with his first guru, then rushed to convey the good news to Geshe-la, who simply said, "Okay, make me a cup of tea." Taken aback by Geshe-la's lack of reaction, Rinpoche contemplated on the experience he just had with the two lamas. Khenso Rinpoche Lobsang Tarchin cared only for Rinpoche's spiritual development and had no jealousy of other teachers. Geshe-la, upon hearing the praise Khenso Rinpoche Lobsang Tarchin had for him, did not acknowledge it or ask for further details. Rinpoche realized that both his gurus were without ego, and with that, his faith in his teachers grew even stronger. I can't come back to New Jersey in the near future, so I don't have the merits to study with you, although I want to. I'm in a house of Geshe Sotrim Gyaltsen. Do I have your permission to study with him? Otherwise, what shall I do? That was what Rinpoche asked of his first guru. Caption of the picture: the original building that housed the University of Oriental Studies in Los Angeles, where Rinpoche met Dr. Leo Pruden. On page 130, caption of the picture on the right, Khenso Rinpoche Lobsang Tarchin. And with that, I will end my sharing today. And thank you for sharing your time with me. And I will be here. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow, to continue on sharing from the book Promise, The Promise. With this, I will end the sharing with completion dedication in Tibetan. Jangjub Sencho Rinpoche, Make Panam Ge Yeshi, Ge Panam Pame Payang, Goni Gondo Pewashu, Toni Towa Rinpoche, Make Panam Ge Yeshi, Ge Panam Pame Payang, Goni Gondo Pewashu. Daso Jini Sapagi Wadi, Tandandro Wagunagan Padang, Jepa Jesun Losan Trapai, Tamping Foreign Dusa, Seisho, Kewa Kuntu Yandala Madan, Drame Joki Pala Lojo Jing, Sadam Langi Yotela Zone, Doje Changi Opangotuso, Gewadi, Yududa, Lama Sangyo Drione, Drowachika Malupa, Dei Salago Basho, Joki Gelposungapa, Josu Nampa Pewala, Geki Samasiwada. Tungki malu sawasho dadam sungi desenda drewa songi latene gewa losan trapai tanpa yuriba yushi ni modele sendele ni migunyandele shi ni sintatu delepa kuncu sungi jingilo kuncu sungi ngodruso kuncu sungi trasi sho Jesu lama kusen rap ting ching nam ka trini joju ke padang lo sam tempe dro me sap songi dro he musa tatu ni yu shi gawe rawe ko shin gamde pendan de wa ma lu yu ni shen sit wan ten sing get so yi sha pe shi de ba du deng yu shi Tom pe ngot ro ma lu pa den de da la so du so ko dan den pa long chon ke pa so shik shuk ten sao. Thank you. See you tomorrow.